Welcome back guys, welcome back. It's a bright day. I want to show you my simple solar e-bike charging system. So just a little experiment here. I've got a Jackery 100 watt panel, basically just cut the plug that normally goes off into the Jackery off of it. And I've connected it to one of these, an MP2 7210A, gotta love the numbers, little Chinese charge controller. These are really neat, they've been around a while, but the cool thing about these is they can actually step up voltage. So you can actually charge batteries with a higher voltage than your total PV panel, if that makes sense. So if your solar voltage, you can see here, is about 20 volts, 19 to be precise, and we're charging a basically charging a 48 volt battery off of it at 1 amp. Okay, it's not a huge amount of power, but it is middle of the winter. We're getting 43 watts. It's probably going to get better as the sun, you know, moves across. But yeah, pretty cool, huh? So this panel actually folds in half, and you can actually just put it on this bike, on the side of it, with a couple of bungee straps. So not perfect solution, but proof of concept. It actually does work. And one of the cool things about this is you could actually potentially just substitute the solar panel for any DC voltage. Obviously the voltage has got to be within range of that charge controller, but it means if you've got other batteries, you know, you could actually charge from, you could potentially charge from another e-bike battery, or just have a battery, you know, just a 10 amp hour small battery in your backpack, and then you can use it to just top up this battery. The other thing that's cool is, have you ever ridden around and then you come to the low point of the battery and you hit the low voltage cutoff of your BMS, and then your bike just basically cuts off completely? Sometimes this happens, and then you're just basically stranded. So you've got no way of kind of jump starting the bike again, because the only way you can actually get the battery to re-enable itself is to plug in a charger. So this is another sort of neat way to actually sort of carry on riding and mitigate that problem. So potentially this battery here, but this is like a 4S 15 amp hour battery pack, lithium ion battery pack that I've made out of Tesla cells. I mean, it's probably a bit low voltage, but if I added another cell on here, I could potentially just use this, you know, be a slightly bigger, through that charge controller to actually charge the bike. You know, gives you a bit of extra range, and if you're just parked up doing this, like I'm doing some drone flying, the bike's getting trickle charged. So thinking about this a bit more, it would be pretty cool to have like a 3-way foldable panel, so you could just fold it, you know, in 3, because that's obviously 2, and it's still a little bit big for the bike. I'll show you in a minute when I put it on. But basically, yeah, if you had like a one that could fold like 3 ways, it'd be pretty cool. Also, it'd be even better if one sort of panel was actually kind of exposed. You're not going to get a lot of, you know, you're not going to get a lot of charge if one panel's just exposed as an upright angle. Actually, you'd have to make sure that all the panels are wired in parallel, otherwise, because if you've got 3 panels in series and 2 panels are dark, you won't get any power out of it at all. But then you probably wouldn't get the voltage, so maybe that wouldn't work anyway. It would just be nice to have something a bit smaller, you know, to put on there, and then you could just unfold it a bit easier. So yeah, I think I'm going to play around with this a bit more, especially in the summer as well. But you know, we're not far off of an amp hour, and that's taken about an hour, so it's not a huge amount of power in there, but you know, free energy. So you can see all packed up. Not the most practical thing in the world by no means, but at least I can pedal it. I found that if I actually just put it, I could actually mount it a bit more secure, but the pedals wouldn't go round. And this bike, you really do need to have the pedals, because it's not got enough power to handle some of the hills around here. But anyway, proof of concept, it works.